good evening, folks. Almost happy Thanksgiving from the channel of Drive to the Top Productions. 2 days early, but that's all right. We're here to talk some open sports Mike tonight, and as you see, the whole panel's here. If we did invite a couple people, if they show up, they show up. And go ahead, Rich, get this thing rolling. You were in the middle of saying something backstage.
So with all the craziness that's going on in the NFL right now, I'm going to go way out on a limb and say something. The current top 5 in the NFL draft order is Jacksonville, Giants, Raiders, Patriots, Carolina. Okay? I guarantee you that is not going to be the top 5 picks in the NFL draft when it rolls around. In fact, I'll bet you the top 10 is completely discombobulated. You've got 8 teams within one game of each other, and a lot of them are playing each other at some point. So, you could arguably have Jacksonville, the Giants, Raiders, Patriots, Panthers, Tennessee, the Jets, the Browns, all possibly being that number 1 pick.
I mean, realistically, how many teams are going to try and lose every game? Because I look at some of these teams. New England's not tanking because they've got a quarterback in Drake May. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Panthers will tank because Bryce Young and Dave Canales want to save their jobs. The Browns and Saints are probably too good to tank. I mean, Tennessee, Drew Lock wants to keep his job, so then you leave, the Giants, Raiders, and Jaguars potentially. Well, Trevor wants to come back this weekend. The Raiders, I don't see Max Crosby ever giving up. Could the Giants end up being that team if they don't win on Thanksgiving?
Okay, but wait a minute. New England, the rest of their schedule, if you look at the rest of their schedule, they can very easily lose all 5 of these games. Indy, at Arizona, at Buffalo, the Chargers, Buffalo.
I think they
win 5
this
losses
week.
To me.
I think they win one more. But still, they're probably the prime pick right now.
I think the Patriots win 2 or 3 games.
Okay.
The thing is, what do they do with the number 1 pick? Like I said, they're obviously not going to take another quarterback because you have Drake May. I guess you improve that offensive line. That's where all the money goes now. I think it's not a sexy pick at number 1, but it's a smart pick at number 1 if the Patriots go that route.
I agree.
Or you take the best player in the draft.
Or does Jared Mayo start following Bill Belichick and trading that number 1 pick for possibly later and start doing what Belichick did with all his New England picks?
Well, there's a good thought there, but if you can get a guy like a Travis Hunter, I'm sorry. I mean, that's transitional talent right there. Plug and play.
I want to talk about him later on. So we'll get back to Travis.
But, I mean, when you sit here and you look at, there's a few teams in that list that have a quarterback. The Patriots have their quarterback. I think Carolina's regaining their faith in Bryce Young. I think Tennessee is restoring their faith in Will Levis. So I don't think those 3 teams, if they're in that number 1 pick, are going quarterback. The other ones, even Cleveland, I think would all go quarterback. And then it's a matter of what quarterback.
Wait a minute. You think my Jags are going quarterback? We just gave Trevor Lawrence $250 million. We're not going to take a quarterback.
They've got to have someone that if and when Trevor wets the bed again, that they're going to have someone that can come in there, much to the like of Jordan Love coming in behind Aaron Rodgers. There's going to be someone coming in there to take Trevor's job if he doesn't get his crap together.
Why can't the Jags just get a new coach and GM to fix this mess?
That's my point. I I think you're right with that, Dylan. The point is, I think taking a quarterback at number one that's gonna have to sit there and come in for Trevor Lawrence. That's way I to be you and I both know, Dylan. I think that's wasting a pick.
Maybe what the Jags do is Jacksonville could take, Riley Leonard 4th, 5th round and have him sit and learn that if anything happened with Trevor Lawrence, Leonard would be available.
Well, but again,
exactly,
if Jacksonville has
you take that kind of quarterback that you're talking about, the Jordan Loves and everything, you take those in the later round. You don't waste the number one pick on a guy that you don't know if he's gonna want to come in or he might have to, but I think you could get that in the later rounds.
Well, but again, Jacksonville's another team that if they have the number one pick, take Travis Hunter.
Exactly.
But
they can get a quarterback, but they've got to get a quarterback early because realistically, I think there's only about 4 or 5, maybe 6 pro-ready quarterbacks in this draft.
That's more than I have. I've got 2, maybe 3 pro-ready quarterbacks in this draft.
No. There's more than that.
No, this draft class is not anywhere like the last 2 years. I mean, I've got 2, maybe 3 pro-ready quarterbacks who could be, and that may be generous because I think Shedeur was good, but I don't think Shedeur Sanders is Jane Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, or even J.J. McCarthy. I think this is just a weak draft class in general.
No.
I think Jane Milroe's got. I think Jane Milroe excites me in some areas. I mean, the deep ball, athleticism, but he needs a lot of work. And then Cam Ward, I don't know if he's really good, or if this is the product of playing in an offense and a team where he can put up 90 points a game.
Cam Ward is showing what's the number one pattern thrown in the NFL right now? The quick in. And Cam Ward throws the best quick in the NCAA right now. Cam Ward is far and away the best at that throw and the out throw. He has the arm strength to do that. Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, I guess Shedeur Sanders, even though I'm not his biggest fan. He sure as heck, for me, ain't the number one pick. See me in about the 4th or 5th round and we'll talk. And then, some other wild card somewhere. There's 5 or 6 NFL-ready quarterbacks. The problem is going to be, are there 5 or 6 spots that are going to be available? Because you got to remember, you got some free agents coming out there, too.
Everybody, this is Charles.
You mean Sam Darnold?
Everybody, this is Charles.
That's one of them.
Hey, start doing right here, guys. Charles, how you doing tonight, buddy?
How you guys doing? I saw the spirited discussion you guys were having here. First time I come in, and you're talking about Shedeur going in the 4th round when he's projected as a number one pick.
I didn't say Shedeur would be a 4th round. I said Riley Leonard may go in the 4th round.
I was being facetious about the 4th round, but I also have said on this broadcast from day one, Shedeur Sanders is not as good as everybody says he is. He is 100% hype, and he may make a decent NFL career, but he's more Geno Smith than Lamar Jackson. Let's put it that way. His biggest problem is that thing sitting on top of his shoulders.
I think that's the only problem. I think
but that's a huge problem for a quarterback. Well, you could say the same about Aaron Rodgers. You could kind of say the same thing about Baker Mayfield, and they were really good quarterbacks. So, like, that's the thing. I said the same thing.
To
Yeah,
me,
you're right.
Shador is easily probably the best quarterback in the draft. I think you mentioned Cam Ward, pretty good. I think Milroe, they're like mid-round picks. I think Dylan Gabriel, I think, is a safe pick. I think he's a solid starter probably in the right system. But I don't.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's like Shador. Yeah, that's a big one, like you said. But he's really, really good. Excellent, great accuracy and athleticism for Shador.
Last week we were talking about this, and I had him as the third best quarterback in the draft.
I think
behind
whoever
Dylan
drafts him is going to
Gabriel
sell a
and
lot
Jackson
of tickets, though, because I think he's the most. Is he the best quarterback? No, but is he the most exciting quarterback in the draft for somebody to take and sell season tickets with? Yes.
By the way, speaking of Shador, did anybody see the bullcrap non-roughing the passer call and Arrowhead this past weekend? That was absolute horse poop.
I watched that game. That was
Yeah.
cool. Kansas played at Arrowhead. I think
It's
they're doing that because they're working on their stadium renovation.
it's a really good thing that his feet weren't on the ground.
Otherwise, he's done.
If his feet were on the ground, both of his knees were laying in the end zone about 40 yards back behind him. That guy can't. Now, granted, you can't change the laws of physics. He was already in the air when but it was late, and you're right. I'll classify that one as dirty.
I mean, I would argue that's borderline injectable because he's 100% going for Shador's knees.
I think I saw Jason Whitlock, who usually doesn't make good points, but he made a good point here. How come nobody was beating his brains out on the other side, the Kansas guy? Kind of like to go into what you're saying about Shador and his attitude. Like that's like you freaking made my quarterback, and nobody on the other side is ripping his head off. That is maybe a bit of a tell about him as well, because that was clearly a dirty play. I mean, no question about it. Yeah, you're right. You're lucky he even has knees after that. He's very lucky.
I would have pulled the Bradley Bozeman after the one play went after Justin Herbert. I would have gone in there, ripped his helmet. If I'm ejected, so what? It'll be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a large number of quarterbacks, he's got every offensive lineman and probably some of the skill position players all over the guy that laid the hit on him. Nobody did anything, and I don't know.
Had that been Mahomes, like had a shot like that, Kelsey would have ripped his head off. Whoever
they'd have thrown him in. They'd have thrown the guy that did it in jail.
Kelsey would have. Yeah, they'd have to put Kelsey in jail. Kelsey would have ripped his head off.
No, I'm talking about the guy that hit him. They would have thrown him in jail. They'd have ejected him from the league. Mahomes is the most paper mache quarterback. He is an extremely good quarterback, top 3 or 4 in the league, no questions asked. But he's also made out of paper. And everybody in the league apparently knows this because we've seen it 2 weeks in a row where there's been a play at the sidelines that they should have knocked him out of bounds, that they didn't. They pulled up, and then he took off and ran for another 15 or 20 yards because nobody hit him. Because they're afraid to hit him because as soon as you touch 15, the flag comes out.
Mm-hmm. You blow on him, and it's flag's gonna blow. He's like the 2020s version of Tom Brady.
Except with athleticism and speed, because Brady had none of that.
That's right.
Hey, you know what would have happened? The Panther would have laid on him, it would have sneezed on him. The singer who shall not be named would have wrote a song about him.
The blonde, you mean, that everybody sees on TV way too much?
Yes.
You, Goodell, throw him out of the league. You sneezed on our King Mahomes. You, I don't feel 22 about this no more. Sorry, I just made that up.
Yeah, I love the fact that she was afraid to come to Buffalo. She wouldn't come here.
Oh, yeah, because she said Bill's Mafia treated her poorly. Good Lord.
That's right.
Shake it off, Taylor. Shake it off.
Oh!
Playing your song.
Oh, by the way, what would have happened if somebody would have gone after Josh Allen? Bill's Mafia would have rioted. They would have
It's okay.
stolen.
It's okay. We have Haley.
Josh
Seinfeld.
Allen would have got up and beat his brains in.
Right.
We got Haley Seinfeld on our side too, which is good.
Yeah, but Josh Allen would have got up and beat the guy's brains in. Forget getting anybody else to do it. Josh Allen would. He is probably the toughest when it comes to like being that guy that if you're walking down a dark alley, he's probably the toughest quarterback in the league.
Definitely.
Baker may be in the neighborhood.
But Stafford.
Some dark alley, Al Capone, New York City type of style dark alley.
There you go.
But by the
There
way,
you
did
go.
you see the play where Baker Mayfield somehow scored and then trashed off the Giants?
Oh yeah, he was mocking Tommy DeVito's celebration. I did see that. I thought it was funny. Didn't think much of it because the game was 30-7, but I thought it was funny.
Baker Mayfield's coming back is pretty impressive, though. I mean, this
It
guy.
is.
I mean,
Love
you want
to
to talk about
see
a
it.
guy nobody liked. Didn't play well. Went downhill. Fans didn't like him. Press didn't like him. Gets released, and he's probably. I put him in the top 10 right now as far as quarterbacks in the league. It's not elite, but I mean, there's a lot of teams that we could use Baker Mayfield. I mean, you think Oakland or Jacksonville or
Okay,
New
that's
York could
enough.
use him?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't
really?
think Dallas would give their IT for Baker Mayfield right now?
Oh, Dallas. Jerry Jones would love to have
The biggest
Baker.
one. You don't think Cleveland would love to have him back?
Yeah,
Ooh!
I think that's justice being served right there. I thought he got shafted in Cleveland, and
He did.
now he's probably
They can afford him. The good thing is Cleveland's got $45 million in cap space out of all this, so maybe they do. Maybe something happens, but he's found a home in Tampa Bay, Florida. Florida's where it's at anyway.
Anyone else
They said they didn't want a grown up in the room, right? They wanted a grown up in the room, and you picked the most immature guy in the league.
Yeah, well now they got
Deshaun Watson, who's done absolute zero. Absolute zero. That Lamar Jackson stuff with the Ravens went on so long because of the Lamar Jackson contract.
But Joe, could
Because-
you imagine if Baker would have stuck around and he would have been playing with some of the talent that has cruised through there since he left and been able to play like he does now? Baker to me is the perfect example of change of scenery makes all the difference in the world.
The one
Right.
good thing now is, like I said, Cleveland's got a bunch of cap space, and they can start over with a rookie, which could end up working out for both parties. Now, if you look at it more of a forward thinking instead of what could have been, then
Yeah, he's got some
Oh,
excellent
what-
weapons in Tampa. And then even when those weapons went down, you figure when Evans and Godwin were both out that they're not even going to be close. And then he's making these other guys look good.
Oh, by the
Adi
way,
all of a
Jamie-
sudden steps up.
and
By the
Sean
way,
Tucker,
Jamie-
former Syracuse guy's getting his chance at running back now, and he was undrafted.
hmm
By the way, Jamie, you said the Browns were 45 million under the cap. They're 45 million over the cap right now.
No, they're under. I looked it up. No, every team in 2024 is under the cap. I looked it up. for
No,
this
the
year.
Browns were 45 million over the cap going into next year. New Orleans is only 77 million over the cap.
Yeah, but I was saying the good news about that could be fixable because, like I said, nobody was over the cap this year, and only 3 teams are going to be over
Okay, I
next
see,
year,
yeah.
and then in 2026, everybody's going to be under again, which is good.
Well, I think the Browns are only over the cap if they get rid of Deshaun. I think that number is if they get rid of him, that's what the hit would be. They should take
Yeah.
it whatever it is. They're getting absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
Is it going to be more than
I
Russell
think that
Wilson?
hits like, I think the hit's like 35.
Hey, the Giants got rid of Daniel Jones, and now it's time for Cleveland to pony up and do the same thing.
Yeah. Russell
By the way-
Wilson was what, like 86,
88,
88? And what's it going to be for Deshaun?
230 million.
Oh, gosh.
It would be 172 million total.
So double
If-
of what the
if they-
Broncos paid to get. rid of. And
If they
believe it or
cut-
not, it's the right move.
Yeah, if they cut Watson after the season, they would have a dead cap hit of 118.9 million in 2025.
Oh
Wow.
Lord.
That's about 40% of the cap.
Yeah.
I got another
maybe
one
you-
on the. I got another one that might be on the table that might be worse than those two, and that's Dak Prescott. I mean, that might be.
Yeah.
They just signed him for $60 million, and they're already talking about bringing Shador in along with Dion. I mean, I
They're
could-
not gonna. I don't think they're gonna get rid of Dak because he had his surgery and he's gonna be ready to go by next year.
I think he stays at least one more year.
I don't know. I mean,
and
we've seen quarterbacks get moved. I mean, the Seahawks moved Russ. I mean, Denver got rid of Russ. I mean, could a team, let's just say the New York Jets, let us say Aaron Rodgers retires. The Jets are too good to get one of these young quarterbacks. Don't bring back Sam Darnold. Why don't the Jets get Dak Prescott?
Because there's
Well-
rumors they might get Daniel Jones now.
Oh gosh.
I don't think
It
that's
wouldn't be
gonna
any worse than what they're doing with Rodgers, to be honest with you.
I think the Jets fans would revolt if they brought in Daniel Jones there.
Not really. I don't think so, Joe. I think at this point it would still be. They would look at it still better than Rodgers, if you think about it.
Yeah, I'd still.
By the
rather
way,
have-
151 million dead cap hit if they cut Dak. And by the way, they'd be better off bringing Zach Wilson back.
The more
I think the Jets would be better off bringing Mark Sanchez back and recreate the butt fumble.
But hey,
They
shout out
could
to
be
his
bringing
little
Rex
bro,
back.
Isaiah Wilson doing well in Utah, starting for Cam Rising. How about that?
So, did anyone see that Jerry Jones was thinking about extending Mike McCarthy today?
Oh,
Mhm.
I did hear
yeah, I
about
hope-
that, and I'm actually not. I'm
You-
not
you wanna
surprised
know
now.
why?
I'm not surprised.
You guys want to know why?
Champion.
Because now, if they beat the Giants, they'll be 5-7 now. But go ahead, Rich.
Because
It's
he's a
because,
super-
and it's a very simple thing. Mike McCarthy does not cause waves. He's like Jason Garrett. Yes, Mr. Jones. No, Mr. Jones. Do what you want to do, Mr. Jones. Dion ain't gonna do that. Dion, if he walks, the minute he walks on to into the Star in Frisco, the minute he walks in there, he's gonna want to be making decisions on personnel. And there ain't no chance, no way, no how, as long as Jerry Jones is walking upright, that he's going to release personnel decisions to anybody.
Right, like I said,
Everybody
especially-
knows that.
especially in a year, Rich, where they're down. But like I said, they heading into next year, they got $24 million in cap space. That's the one good thing they got going for them.
I
I do
understand, but
think
whoever's the coach ain't making no decisions on it.
I do think it's a little different with Deion Sanders in Dallas. Jerry Jones has the best relationship with those 90s Cowboys players. Michael Irvin, Aikman, those are his guys. So I do think he would be different in the setting. I understand because it's Jerry Jones, you never know. But I do think that would be different than anybody else. They wouldn't just be hiring anybody else. Dion would be a different set of circumstances, similar to like when he hired Parcells. It wouldn't just be. There would have to be a different set of circumstances for him than anybody else.
Right.
I think
but
there
why
will
didn't
be
it
too.
work with Parcells? Why didn't it work with Parcells? Because Parcells wanted to make personnel decisions, and Jerry wasn't going to release that ability. Same thing with Jimmy. These other guys, Garrett and McCarthy and Chan Gailey, they were all, well, okay, Jerry, you go ahead and make the calls, and I'll try to deal with what I've got, with what you bring me. We've seen how that's gone.
Mhm.
I
That would be the
as
most
the biggest
hilarious
Cowboy hater, you know.
I feel like, but Rich, those situations, they didn't have the cap space that they have now, so that's why.
Sure, they did. When Parcells was there? Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, yeah, they did.
I think Parcells did
But
have
they
some
kept-
personnel when he was there.
They
I don't
kept
think
trying to bring in. they bring in T.O., and all T.O. does is cause issues. They draft Julius Jones. They draft Felix Jones.
Actually, T.O.
They
was
were having horrible drafts.
T.O. was 1 year with Parcells, and then it was Wade Phillips after that with T.O. and everything.
Right. And Wade Phillips was another one that wanted to be able to make personnel decisions because it's like, look, you want me to win, I have to be able to do this. If I don't have guys that can do this, then we can't win games. That's why you could tell exactly when Jerry Jones stopped controlling the draft and turned it over to his son. Because the first 2 drafts after Jerry turned it over to Steven, who'd they draft? Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. Nothing flashy about those 2 guys, but they're both going to Canton 5 years after they retire.
Right, but that was that. Right, but guess what? That was when they realized because Tony Romo didn't have an offensive line, so they prioritized building the offensive line. That's why Steven got smart and went with those offensive linemen in the first round like that.
Jamie, they didn't have an offensive line from when Aikman was there. Aikman retired because he was getting killed back there and getting concussions.
Mm-hmm.
And back injury.
And Quincy
Right,
Carter and everybody else.
Realized they needed to rebuild their line again was of the first couple drafts with them.
Well,
I understand.
I mean, you look at
Jerry
the Cowboys,
wanted the flashy first round pick.
Yeah.
You look at the Cowboys now, they need 3 or 4 offensive linemen. They need a running back. They need multiple wide receivers.
Their offensive line, the problem with their offensive line is Zach Martin's going to retire. It's a young offensive line. That's the thing with the linemen
It's
right
a
now.
bad offensive line. I mean, Zach Martin's the one good piece there. Other than that,
Well, no, but it's a young.
No.
It's a young offensive line too, Dylan, because you got 3 rookies starting on it too.
Do you think Belichick could fix the Cowboys?
Hell no.
If they had Bill Belichick on that team.
I talked about Dylan, go. I talked about this with my mother, who's a Cowboys fan, and she said the one thing Belichick, at least she gives him credit for, is he holds people accountable and everything. And a lot of coaches are afraid to do that nowadays. I feel like he could go in there and hold Dallas accountable.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think he could definitely fix them, and just it's not going to happen because of these control issues you were just talking about. But I think he could.
I think the Cowboys.
I think there's 2 definite reasons no, he won't. One, what is his record without Tom Brady?
Bad.
He is like 30 games below 500.
Hmm.
And secondly, see the previous discussion because he is definitely going to want to be coach and GM.
That's why
And Jerry's going to say, no.
That's why I think they might end up keeping McCarthy now. To Rick's point,
I've got one for you. If the
I
Giants,
called you Rick. Sorry, Rich. My bad.
if the Giants,
good. I've been called worse, Jamie. I promise.
Okay.
if the Giants continue to poop their pants, who's to say they won't fire the head coach and general manager and say, "Hey, Bill Belichick won a couple of Super Bowls here back in the day. Why not finish your career in New York?"
They would fire them, Dylan, but Michael Strahan said this on Fox. Now, obviously, he played for the Giants, so obviously he's going to have certain views on it. But to his credit, he said the reason why they wouldn't fire Shane and Dable is because Dable and Shane, they inherited Daniel Jones. They didn't handpick Daniel Jones. They want to see what they could do with their own guy at quarterback. Daniel Jones was inherited by another GM. They didn't pick Daniel Jones.
I'd be curious to see what Belichick could do with the Jets if he had a quarterback. Because when you look at the talent on that team, they've got talent all over the place. They've got great defensive backs. They've got a tremendous defensive line. Their offensive line is really good. They've got 2 awesome receivers, a running back that is really good.
Have him
They
on
just don't have a
fantasy,
quarterback.
certainly, yes.
If you stuck one of these more experienced coaches in there with the Jets with a good quarterback, even a young good quarterback, I think it could do something. But Charles, well, one thing that we did, I made a comment a while ago. You were talking about Aaron Rodgers a little bit ago, right? I said that Aaron Rodgers is the LeBron James of the NFL because of the way that he acts as GM, person making all the decisions. Everything needs to be done through me, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
See what's happened with the Jets, see what happens with the Lakers. So the best thing that could happen to the Jets, I think, is for Rodgers to go bye-bye next year.
Exactly.
The Lakers is a whole different thing. The Lakers have actually gotten something out of LeBron. It hasn't gone as well as they had hoped, but they've actually, some people don't call the bubble a title, but they did win a title. They have been a good team, relatively good team. I know this about Aaron Rodgers, and I've said this. The Packers were just sick of him. They didn't care. They didn't even. I'm not even sure they even believed in Jordan Love. I mean, it's kind of worked out, but they were just sick of Aaron and his diva and his this, and I'm gonna retire, and they just had enough of him. And I think the Jets have had more than enough. They've given him everything you want. You don't like the coach. You don't like this. You don't show up in the off season. There's zero chance they bring back Aaron. So I think LeBron, I think that's kind of right. But LeBron is giving them something, giving the Lakers something, because the Lakers were pretty bad before he got there. But the Jets have gotten absolutely nothing from Aaron. Mm-hmm. He missed the whole last season. He didn't play at all. He's been out here in New York, running around, mad at the coach, mad GM, and I think they've won, 3 games?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I mean, they haven't gotten anything. And the Packers, they're probably maybe not Super Bowl level, but certainly a strong playoff team without them.
And I have actually heard a couple of people in New York say that they think that Rodgers is still hurt, that he's still not 100% from that Achilles, and that's where part of the problem is, because he's not able to get the right mechanics on his throws, and that's why his balls are floating and things like that, which is very possible with an Achilles tear.
At his age.
At
he's
that
40
age,
years
yeah.
old.
At his age, you're right.
As old as he is.
So who would the Jets have a good fit with?
Can't hear you, Adam.
Who would the Jets have a good fit with?
Coach or quarterback?
Quarterback.
There's one. I know a guy on the roster that came from the UFL that I think if you give him another shot, he could be the Jets guy. Adrian Martinez.
Played in Nebraska.
Yeah, and UFL with Birmingham, won a UFL championship, and he's still 24, 25.
I think the Jets are the biggest mess in maybe any sport. They just never
Charles,
get
that's
it
not
right.
new. They've been the biggest mess for the last 10 years. Even with Rex Ryan, they were.
I heard they're going to bring Rex in. I think that's kind of the right idea. At least with Rex, you bring him in. He's gonna at least get the one side of the ball right, the defense. I can see that he's going to get the defense right. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, cut it out.
Well, I'm looking at the free agents at the end of this season, right? And let's go around the horn. I mean, we got a list here, but who fits best with the Jets as they sit? Darnold, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota, Andy Dalton, Drew Lock, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones, Jimmy G, Mason Rudolph, Cooper Rush, Kyle Trask, Russell Wilson, Tommy DeVito.
All scraps. I would take Justin Field out of the names you mentioned.
You know, this might be an unpopular decision, but Kyle Trask, because you still don't know what he could be, because the first year he got drafted, he was sick, he had COVID, and Baker's just the clear, obvious front runner for Tampa. You still don't know what Kyle Kyle Trask could be because he hasn't really played meaningful downs in the regular season. You go put him with a team like the Jets where he gets another opportunity. That could be a 30 for 30 story. Who knows?
I got one you didn't mention. I think I'm not sure this is going to be a hap, but Kirk Cousins might be a name. Quiet as kept. They drafted a quarterback in the first round, the Atlanta. So I'm absolutely giving him a call, and that's a guy definitely that he at least can get you to where Atlanta is. I think I'd give.
Yeah, it would take a trade, but yeah, you're right because he signed a 2-year deal. But yeah, you're right. That's not a bad. That's not a bad ad. It just doesn't look like there's a whole. There's not that one name in that group that goes, "Oh, that's the guy they need to go after."
See, I just think as the years have gone by, though, this is what's been proven with free agency, though. Like, teams still want to use it for what it's actually for, and that's building your team through the draft and filling your holes with veterans. It's because of the hard salary cap. It's not going out and buying the team with a bunch of free agents like the Commanders used to do with Dan Snyder or what the Yankees do in baseball. A lot of teams in football still stick to their guns, which is doing it organically through the draft and just signing cheaper, smarter free agents, not the big contracts anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Well, Pittsburgh did that at the quarterback position this year.
I would go.
They got Fields and Wilson.
Always been a build through the draft team. That's how they built.
Right, but Pittsburgh this year got those 2 quarterbacks for $4 million.
And look, say they with the Patriots and the Packers, they were always, even with Aaron Rodgers, it was built through the draft and only sign a couple free agents.
Eric DaCosta hates free agency. Hates free agents. He never signs players on different teams for more than a 1 or 2 year deal.
It's because he believes
almost never
in organic through the draft.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why he went. I think that's why he went Derrick Henry over Saquon. Because Saquon, he can get him to like a 1-2 year deal. And obviously that's worked out. I'm just saying, but he doesn't.
Right, it's worked out, but at a neat niche position now, the running back, we don't pay those guys anymore. I always say that.
They're going to start doing it.
Like I'm saying, Saquon's doing it in a position where it's a dime a dozen now, the running backs. I always say that. That's why.
Well, guys, how about we do a top 10 power rankings right now?
On.
NFL top 10 power rankings.
You go first.
Say again, Adam. We can't hear you.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll log out and log back. I'm gonna log out and log back. Log out and log back. Okay. You guys can't hear me? Hello?
Now we could. We seriously couldn't a minute ago.
Let me move this stupid buffer. Maybe that was good. I was saying Dylan should go first. Is that better?
Okay. I'm going to go 10-1. 10, Chargers. 9, Pittsburgh. 8, Miami. 7, Green Bay. 6, Minnesota. 5, Baltimore. 4, Philadelphia. 4 Kansas City. 3, the Eagles. Then the Bills at 2. And number 1, the Detroit Lions.
I think that's fair.
It's gonna be hard to move Detroit out of that number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go next? Is this better? Without the
I know why you don't want him in the top 10, Anna, but we don't need to talk about it because that's just going to spark controversy.
Who? The Steelers?
Yeah, you're overreact. I didn't want to say it on the last podcast, but I was going to tell you, I was going to say it, Adam, but I didn't want to say it. That was a game you had to be careful for, because when you come off a big win like the Ravens, that was a trap game, and you guys fell for it.
Look, if the Ravens would have played their normal game, they would have beat the living shit out of us. But instead, they try to turn it on to a full punch mode game, and it turns into what we see every week when they play. If the Ravens would have played their normal game, I think they would have beat the shit out of us.
Yeah,
Raven.
you could see where I was coming from. I had a feeling that was going to be a trap game because the Browns were going to come in fired up. It was a divisional rivalry.
Tomlin sees something with Lamar Jackson. He cannot, for whatever reason, when he plays Pittsburgh, he cannot get the edge. He gets it whenever he wants in most games. He cannot do it against Pittsburgh. So they see something or something. I've seen it every time they play. This is why he's turning the ball
up
over.
Until this year, it was the Bills had a game plan for Lamar Jackson too. Up until this year, but
all right. So I would put Pittsburgh at 10. I really would. They didn't show much, but the record's still good, so they have to be in the top 10, I guess. I would go. Actually, at Detroit 1, Bills 2. I guess I'm going Chiefs 3, 4. I'm going Minnesota 4, Green Bay 5, Baltimore 6. I really don't have a 7, 8. I'm joking around, but I cannot think of 7 and 8.
Packers.
Feeling my because Packers were 5.
Okay. Who else was I thinking? Chargers.
I guess they'd be 9. But now that they lost Dobbins, I think Dobbins is done for a while, right?
I'm not sure.
I mean, that seems to be an every year thing with him anyway.
Yes.
Right, Charles?
Yeah, that's why the Ravens don't have him, because he's constantly on the shelf. That's the very reason. I think that's the biggest reason. Not surprised he outplayed Edwards. Edwards is a solid running back, and I'm not surprised he got hurt either.
We got to put Baltimore 8 or 7. I put Baltimore above Pittsburgh. I do. But everyone knows that I still believe the Steelers are going to fall apart. See all my jerseys right here, and I still believe they're going to fall apart. And Rich is going to look at me like, anyway. So yeah, go ahead. Who's next on our rank? You want to go, Charles?
Yeah, I can go. I'm looking at it here. Detroit 1. I don't think it's close. Detroit's way ahead of everybody else right now. I don't think it's close. Philadelphia 2. Chiefs at 3. Bills at 4. Chiefs are still 10-1. They're winning a lot of close games. I'm not sure. I think they're playing preseason games. I don't know how. I don't know. These games are a little too close, but I think the Bills are 4. I think Green Bay 5. The Ravens 6. The Vikings 7. The Chargers 8. I think 9. I gotta say the Texans, and then the 10. I'm gonna say Pittsburgh.
Wait a minute, you have the Texans in the top 10. They just lost to the Tennessee Titans at home.
I said 9.
The fucking Browns.
Houston's not anywhere near the top 10.
You have Pittsburgh in the top 10. We all do, and they just lost to the Browns.
Well, Cleveland.
I think the Texans talent-wise, I think they are right there. They just Stroud just down on track, but they're still better than most of the teams in the league. The Steelers' offense is just not going to get it as good as their defense is. They're not. They're very, very pedestrian on offense.
Well, I'm really going to get people fired up on this one.
Yes, you are, and I love it. I know you're coming with some good shit right now, Rich.
Detroit 1, Buffalo 2, Philly 3, KC 4. Pittsburgh 5, Baltimore 6, Minnesota 7, Chargers 8, Packers 9, and a country we haven't heard from yet, the Denver Broncos at 10.
Bo Nix is playing a hell of a rookie season. He should be in talks for rookie of the year.
I was thinking about that one too.
And that defense is pretty damn solid too.
Yeah, I'm pretty much chalk here. Lions, Bills 2. I got Chiefs 3 still. Eagles 4. Ravens 5. I know they're but behind the Steelers, but I still got Ravens 5. I'm going to go Packers 6. And then Chargers 7. Steelers 8. I know I'm forgetting somebody here. Give me a second. Vikings 9. Broncos 10.
I don't think you said Eagles.
I said Eagles 3.
You said Eagles 3.
Eagles 4
Eagles 4
after the Chiefs.
Chiefs 3, Eagles 4. Yeah, you did.
Yes. Because
I think you could take
beginning of the season, I said Eagles were going to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stick by that. I still think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
And I think you could take Buffalo, Philly, and KC, throw them up in the air in whatever order they landed in. I think you'd be right.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, okay.
But-
Let's see. Detroit 1, Bills 2. I got Philly 3, Kansas City 4, Minnesota 5, Green Bay 6. Who else we got here? I did say Green Bay 6. I said Pittsburgh 7. The Commanders still 8. Chargers 9 and Broncos 10.
Is it safe to say for everybody that the Broncos are the one team that nobody saw coming?
Yes.
Here's the one thing I never thought we'd be leaving out. No one had anyone from the NFC West.
Yeah, I just noticed that as I was going through it.
From the NFC what?
West.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a good reason for that.
They're all middle of the road. They're all average.
And that's something, that surprised a lot of people right now. Dylan, what else you got lined up? I know you got questions on that though.
Oh yeah, with Thanksgiving, you can see my background. What do you guys usually have for Thanksgiving?
I think I'm doing steak.
I didn't hear the question.
He said, "What do you guys normally do for dinner on Thanksgiving?"
I'm the family and I am going to my aunt and uncle's house for Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, we Italians start with our ravioli dinner, and then we have the turkey later.
Charles, what do you guys do?
I don't do any cooking on Thanksgiving. My wife does all the cooking. I see people and help and all that other stuff. So I don't do anything on Thanksgiving. Just thankful I have a day off. Basically.
Rich, is that better?
Yeah, we'll find out in just a second. Yeah. Well, it's delayed a little bit more.
I was on the mic. That's why.
I still think it's the microphone on your earphones are causing an interaction with the microphone. You got two mics right next to each other. You're going to have echo or feedback, one or the other. But I know you don't have other headphones either.
All right, I turned them down. Is that better?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's better. Yeah. We were talking about dinner. I do my best job of staying out of my wife's way. Turkey, ham, sweet potatoes, that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I just do my best to stay out of the way. Only get near the kitchen when I'm asked to help with something, and then get out so I'm not in the way.
Dylan, what do you do?
I'm running a 5K.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're not going to eat.
No, we're actually hosting Thanksgiving here, so I love the turkey leg. I don't care about the stuff and mashed potatoes and gravy. Just give me the turkey leg.
See, I'm not a big turkey guy. I'm just not. That's not my thing. Like, I eat stuffing. My grandma used to make canadles, which is like a stuffing round ball or something. I have no idea. They always told me it was, but I still don't understand that. After all these years, I have no idea what it is. But
bro, you give me some cannolis and send them down here.
My grandma used to make them, Rich, and
I can hurt some cannolis, man. Oh boy. Some of y'all call them pierogi. Us Polish folks call them pierogi.
You guys, anyone else eat pierogi?
No, there's a lot of that here in Buffalo, because there's a very big Polish population here. So you see and hear a lot about that.
Okay. So on Thanksgiving Day, guys, what game is the most intriguing? Obviously, maybe running DFS, some FanDuel, some DraftKings that day will make the day a lot more interesting. But what games are you guys looking for?
Lions, Bears, the Giants and the Cowboys. And I'd love to see Green Bay beat Miami. And that would be cool.
Green Bay, Miami is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
That is the late game, right?
Yes.
I know you're ready.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the Chicago game, to be honest. I want to see what Detroit does if Amon-Ra doesn't play.
I think they still beat the shit out of them.
I think they do too, but I want to see who steps up. Is it Jameson Williams? Do they have Laporta do it? Do they have is Raymond going to be the guy? Who's going to kind of step up and really take up that slack? We all know they can run the heck out of the ball, but who's going to catch those passes?
The more important thing is if St. Brown doesn't play, who steps up on my fantasy team?
I'm with you there. One of my fantasy teams, I have Amon-Ra. But I also have Jameson Williams.
Okay.
The Dolphins look like a totally different team. I mean, they don't even look like when they had my man Tyler Huntley in there, you might as well had a whole new draft season.
I mean, to be honest, when Tua didn't play for Miami, they didn't even look like you could beat a college team. And now Miami looks. Yes, we know Tua. We know Tua doesn't play well in cold weather, but to be honest with you, Jordan Love has made too many mistakes. I mean, he didn't make a mistake because Kansas system made like 59. But on the other side, I think Miami's winning Lambeau.
I don't see it happening. I think Green Bay wins by 10.
At Lambeau, I think you're right, Joe.
That's one of my best bets of the week, actually.
My best bet of the week, Pittsburgh plus 3. If you got a plus 5, it's even better. Plus 3 against Cincinnati. Give me Mike Tomlin with extra time as a road dog.
I think the Steelers win that game outright, actually.
Yep,
They bounce back. They bounce back after the Cleveland game. I think they do win that game.
Hey, Jamie, you worried about facing the Niners this Sunday night? I mean, the 49ers, excuse me, wrong team.
Wait. I'm not worried, Dylan, but it looks like your prediction is coming true, though.
Wait. Who had the say the Niners would miss the playoffs?
You
We
did.
all
know. Chairman John went out of his fucking mind.
You know,
We all know who made that prediction.
Game out of they're only one game out. That's how bad that division is.
We can't hear you, Adam.
Talk about how bad that division is. The Niners are still one game out.
You really think the Niners are beating the Bills, Lions, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Cardinals?
Or even the Seahawks. The Seahawks are winning the division right now, I think.
I was just saying they're one game out.
Yeah, they're not out of it. Yet.
Yeah, but they look like dog crap the last few weeks.
Right, but if they go 4-2,
I'm a little worried about this game with them coming into Buffalo, because I think the Niners are going to be playing in desperation mode. I still think the Bills win by 4, but I think it's going to be a tough game, and I think.
Yeah, but Joe, you don't even know Brock Purdy's coming back as quarterback. They're not going to beat him before Brandon Allen's playing.
Yeah. I still say the Bills win. But
I still think San Francisco closes the season 4-2, which gives them 10 wins, which in that division can win the division.
You're saying they go 4-2 without Brock Purdy at quarterback?
They're not going to be minus Purdy the rest of the season.
Okay.
They might be minus him this week, but I mean, if they got Purdy, can they beat the Bears and the Rams and the Dolphins and the Cardinals? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Are they going to get boat raced by Buffalo and Detroit? Yeah. I think they get trounced by both of them. But also using my Kansas City Pittsburgh theory, Detroit, when they play San Francisco week 17, they may not be playing for anything.
No clue in the West. No, everything you guys are saying is right. That 8 or 9 wins can win that division. They can win half their games in Niners or any of those teams. Or they could lose them all. I don't. There's no clue.
Okay, all right. Well, we had none of them in our top 10 power ranking, so we know that division is really weak. And
plus, Christian McCaffrey's got to get healthy and get back into the game.
Is Brock Purdy even playing?
He didn't know. He didn't play the last week. That's what we just said.
Is he playing this one?
I have no idea.
We don't know yet. I'll take a look.
Yesterday they came out with a positive outlook on Purdy playing this weekend.
And the other question is, what is the weather supposed to be like on Sunday night?
Bad. Miserable. 30, late, high 20s, snow and
Are we looking at snow? Are we looking at snow?
Yes. Now we haven't seen yet and where it's going at this point, because in Buffalo it could be snowing like crazy here and totally clear 5 miles away. So we don't know where it's going to end up. So there could be anywhere from 12 inches of snow during that game.
it's always sunny in Philadelphia. It's always snowy in Buffalo.
That's awful. You don't know how to prepare for the day. That's awful.
Or let me correct myself. Sorry, I had to do that.
Are the Ravens home or away, Charles?
Home.
The Ravens are playing home against the Philly this weekend.
Tough game.
You guys got a big game too.
It's 30, and by the way, it's 34 in snow in Buffalo on Sunday. Because it's the feedback.
This week, I mean, there are some really good matchups this weekend. There really are. I mean, when you sit and look at it, Frisco, Buffalo, of course, Philly, Baltimore. I think that Houston-Jacksonville game is intriguing. The Arizona-Minnesota game, I think, is very underrated. Pittsburgh-Cincinnati.
I think we could lose this game. Sorry, this loss to Cleveland has me fucking distraught.
Is the glass half empty?
I think they win this week. Though.
I think Cincinnati can win this game.
I think we win the next two. I think we win this week, and then we kick the dog shit out of Cleveland the following week.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, Cincinnati's not pulling their Houdini act this year. I think they're done.
Should Hunter be up for the Josh? What is that award for defense? Should he be one of the top defensive players of the year?
He's the best in football.
Who is this now?
Travis Hunter. He has 31 tackles. He has 3 interceptions. He's one behind Caleb Downs, I believe. But Caleb Downs has 41 tackles, I believe.
Hunter. I have a hard time not seeing him as. And this may sound weird. Could he take all 3 awards?
He's not up.
The Heisman, the best receiver, and the best defensive player.
He's not up for it.
He's not up for best receiver.
No, best defensive player.
Okay.
It's Caleb. He's like 4th on the list. He's not top 3. I think top 3 get in, right?
Yeah. The one thing I can tell you.
He's 31
And
games.
I've tuned this horn for weeks. It's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
To me, he's still the best player in college football. He's to me been the Heisman winner for weeks now. It's his award to lose. Now, was it a little tacky that when you're down 3 scores and you hit the Heisman pose? Yes, tremendously tacky to do that. But the kid is still unbelievable.
But is he making Shador though, Rich? What do you think?
Is he making Shador? Yeah. To a large degree, yeah.
I'm with you. I don't think he's that good. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's number one. Now, Travis Hunter, he could be number one if he's going to play both, but I don't think any coach in their right mind would let him play both in the NFL.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since somebody's done it, but I'd at least give him a chance at it. Because what can you honestly say is he better at, receiver or DB? I think he's equally good at both positions.
Maybe if he doesn't have a QB, he's going to say, "Coach, I'll play defense."
There you go. And become Darrell Revis or Deion Sanders.
Any thoughts about the top 12, guys? We're getting closer to that playoff push. Do you guys like the 1, 2, 3, and 4? 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds getting a bye week? Do you think that's going to affect them in any way possible?
It's not like baseball where they lose all their momentum. It's going to be an advantage, and I like them having the bye for the first four. That's a good idea.
I'll tell you what. Otherwise, I think the Dogs from trouble.
You know what's really going to mess things up is when A&M beats Texas on Saturday.
Not more than one bit.
Because then you have A&M and Georgia in the SEC championship.
And then A&M wins.
No. Yawn. Georgia, Ohio State in the final. We know it.
But think about this. If A&M beats Texas and beats Georgia, Alabama are both out.
They're not beating Georgia.
Are we going to see 4 to 5 teams from the Big Ten make it?
Maybe 3.
I think
The Ducks, State.
I think 3. Oregon, Ohio State,
And what about Indiana?
I see 4.
Right. That's what I said. Ducks, State, and then Indiana.
Yeah, Ducks, State, Indiana. You're gonna have 4.
I've got a question. What if hypothetically match into Ohio State next week? You're telling me Ohio State?
Say that again.
What if Ohio matches Ohio State next week?
You broke up, Dylan. You're breaking up.
I can't hear a word.
You're breaking up real bad. Yeah.
What if Oregon matches Ohio State?
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Oregon's going to kick the living dog out of Ohio State.
Again?
I'm not so sure about that.
I'm still waiting for Ryan Day to win a big game.
I think Ohio State fans are all waiting for him to win a big game.
I'm still waiting for Ryan Day to win a big game. I'll put Oregon against those guys. I had Oregon winning part of the year. I'm sticking with it. Actually, if I remember right, I don't know if you wrote it down, Adam, or not, but I think I had Oregon, Ohio State in the championship.
I don't think I wrote down college, but let me take a gander. My handy dandy notebook.
By the way, I put the Tutal Jones jersey away. Washington's not winning. That division.
I don't know if I wrote it down. It's probably in this one. Here's all our Chargers predictions.
I think I'm going to end up pretty darn close. I had them 10-7.
No, I did not write down college predictions.
I know I had Oregon. Winning it all. I just couldn't remember if I had them playing Georgia or Ohio State.
You had the Chargers at 9-8.
I had who? What?
Chargers 9-8.
9-8. Okay. 9-8. Okay.
I think it could be. I think Ohio State, and I think they're either going to play Oregon or Penn State. I believe that's going to be our national
championship. I think the Big Ten will play Texas.
Texas might not even make it.
You know who could be the real spoiler in this whole thing?
Who?
And I'm not saying they make it to the national championship game, but I think Tennessee is going to make themselves known.
I think Tennessee. I think they're going to end up in the top 4. I don't mean top 4. They'd be one of the last. I think Tennessee could be anybody outside Big Ten teams. They just don't want to play that game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Listen, guys, I'm going to head out here. But yeah, it's great talking with you. And it's hard to hear too. I'm getting like triple voices here too. But you know, hopefully you all have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you,
Joe. Joe. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
You too.
See you, Joe.
Bye.
Is that better or worse?
Say what?
Is that better or worse?
It's still a delay. It's there. I know what to get you for Christmas. Send you some headphones.
Do not give me double ones. I need the singles. I'm one of them people.
One input.
I can't wear both because I just hear myself talk and it just drives me up the fucking wall. I don't know why. I just can't do it.
Well, I mean, okay. I can do that.
Anyway, guys, we got anything else left for the OMC? OSM, Open Sports. I don't know why.
I can't really think of anything at the moment.
I think I'm good. We good? All right.
By the way, speaking of cold weather, do you remember
Feeling your shit is muffled the fuck out of right now. I don't know why. Playing with a different, or you're just gonna get off anyway. Something about the Chiefs. That's all I heard.
Yeah, it didn't jive. But anyways,
Got anything left, or you want to tell people how to get you?
Oh, me. I guess. That calls it a night, everybody. Thanks for listening. You could follow me at Bill's Chat One at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also Jamie McCoy, the unbiased journalist at X on X. You can also follow me on football.com, where I write about all sports. And also follow me on Driving to the Top where next week at 8 o'clock I'll be returning to Joe Daly and our regular schedule Buffalo Sports Conversation podcast. So for more content like open mic, that show, or anything else, or Driving to the Top production, please visit our YouTube page, our Twitch stream, our Facebook stream, wherever you consume your podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Driving to the Top Production. Ring the bell and notifications, like, comment, and as always, we're driving to the top.
Rich?
Twitter X, whatever we're calling it today, it'll be Go Big, Go Home Pod. My Facebook is Rich Richardson. Hit me up at either one. Adam and I normally do a show on Wednesdays, talking about Pittsburgh sports, and God only knows where that ends up. But we have a blast with that. If you have any, thoughts, opinions, you're right, you're wrong, you're nuts, you suck, whatever. Let us know, and we definitely love the conversation.
Absolutely. Give me a sports talking head. Jamie covered everything else. Hit that like, subscribe button to Drive to the Top Production. Look for Phoenix, who today, folks, broke another 4,500-pound cable, snapped its head. This is their third one. So, mighty strong dog. I love her to death, but I was ready to kill her because I didn't see her. I thought she ran off. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and everybody have a good evening.
Happy Thanksgiving.